Get dressed with me for Browns versus 49ers.
Dillon Gabriel's fiancé, Zoe Caswell, is catching a ton of heat after she appeared to take shots at starting quarterback Shedeur Sanders following the team's loss to the 49ers. In a recent TikTok video on Zoe's account, she captioned a video showing her outfit for the game, "Browns lost, what's new?" People were very quick to accuse her of doing this because Shedeur started and not Dillon, and comments like, "I don't remember these captions when your man was QB1," and "Love your content but very disappointed in the caption, need to support this team whether he's in or not," only confirm that. She tried to defend herself by saying it was a joke, but no one is seeming to buy it. But unfortunately, it doesn't end there, and another comment chain surfaced on her TikTok where she responded to comments saying that no one in the Browns building wants Dillon to play. She responded to the comments saying that everybody in the organization wants him to start over Shedeur and says that they haven't played in the NFL or coached, so how would they know? This is obviously a very odd comment coming from someone who has also not played or coached in the NFL.
Hey, football fans, what's going on? Get ready, because the drama coming out of Cleveland right now is crazy. And I'm not talking about what's going on in the game. A social media tempest is growing over Dillon Gabriel's fiancé taking jabs at Shedeur Sanders, charges of racism flying around, and the Cleveland Browns organization is stuck in the thick of this mess. This story has more ups and downs than an overtime playoff game, and believe me when I say that by the time we're done here, your jaw will be on the floor. Let me get things ready for you. The Cleveland Browns are once again in the middle of a quarterback debate. This team is like they have a season pass to the drama club, and they simply keep coming back every year. But this time is different. This time, we have rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel, who abruptly vanished off the field 2 weeks ago. We also have Shedeur Sanders, the son of NFL legend and current Colorado head coach Deion Sanders, who is striving to show that he belongs in this league. Now it gets hot, like jalapeno level hot. Dillon Gabriel has been on the bench for 2 weeks now. The formal word is concussion protocol, but this is what has everyone confused. This past week, Gabriel was given the green light to play. Done. Ready to go and cleared by a doctor to get back on the field. But what happened? Nothing at all. He stayed to that bench like it was made of superglue. Shedeur Sanders has been out there taking snaps, trying to figure out how to deal with one of the worst offensive scenarios in the whole National Football League. Now, let's discuss about what truly happened before Gabriel sat down. In one game, and I want you to really think about this, the Browns coaches let Dillon Gabriel throw 52 passes. 52. That's not a mistake. No, that's not an exaggeration. 52 throwing attempts for a rookie quarterback who, to be honest, looked completely lost out there. We're talking about performance that is as bad as hot garbage. The kind of performance that makes you question what the coaches, the front office, and even the people in the building were thinking when they called up play after play. This is where the drama really starts to heat up. Zoe Caswell, Dillon Gabriel's fiancé, decided to join the discourse on social media. And boy, did she say some things that had everyone in the football world talking. Caswell said in the comments on TikTok, where all reasonable conversations seem to happen these days, that everyone in the building wants Dillon to perform. Really, everyone? Let's take a look at that assertion for a second because it doesn't seem right. Who in the Browns building really wants Dillon Gabriel to play? Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, might have some kind of link to Gabriel from their past. Maybe Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver who's been going crazy because he doesn't get enough targets. We'll get to that problem in a minute, but it's a whole other level of messy. And of course, general manager Kevin Stefanski, who seems more interested in making this Dillon Gabriel experiment work for reasons that have more to do with his ego than with football. But everyone, from the players in the locker room to the ones who have to run these plays, knows that this argument is as weak as the Browns' chances of making the playoffs. When someone in the comments accused Caswell of being overtly racist, the social media exchange got even more heated. This is a very serious accusation that shocked everyone in the chat. The commenter also said that no one in the locker room respects Gabriel and that people celebrated when he was hurt and was too scared to play. We don't know for sure if that's true or not, but the fact that these charges are being made in public shows how bad things have gotten in Cleveland. Caswell shot back, supporting her guy and saying that the people who said these things have never played in the NFL or been on a coach. It's the old trick of challenging someone's qualifications when you don't like what they say. But here's the issue with that line of thought. You don't have to have played professional football to see what's going on in Cleveland. The movie is honest. The numbers don't lie. And the fact that Gabriel is sitting on the bench, even though he has been given the all clear to play, says a lot. The truth is that the problem is considerably more complicated and, to be honest, much more worrying than just a quarterback rivalry. Some people think that former Browns coach Dan Lanning, current general manager Kevin Stefanski, and Gabriel's agent set up the whole Dillon Gabriel affair to make sure he was paid. It was just an experiment, plain and simple. The Browns had to change things up when that experiment went horribly wrong. They had to do it. We need to talk about the business side of this for a minute, because it's very important to understanding what's really going on. Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Browns, saw ticket prices drop to $6 and change. $6. Most stadiums won't let you buy a beer for that much, and people were paying that much to see an NFL game in Cleveland. Changes are coming, whether you like it or not, when your ticket prices drop like that and your fans aren't interested. Haslam didn't become a millionaire by making lousy choices with his money, and putting Dillon Gabriel out there week after week was a terrible investment that was losing money with every snap. Now let's talk about Jerry Jeudy, since his condition is very tied to all of this drama, and it might be the best way to understand what's going on in Cleveland right now. Jeudy has been quite outspoken about how upset he is about not getting the ball, and after the last game, his anger bubbled over in a very public way. But Jude either doesn't get it or doesn't want to admit it. Shedeur Sanders isn't the problem. The Browns' whole offensive system and way of thinking are the problem. When Dillon Gabriel was in the game, Jude was getting his chances. The ball was being hurled in his direction. He was seeing things to shoot at. But this is the most important difference. The coaches were letting Gabriel talk about it. They were letting him throw the ball down the field. They were letting him take shots whenever he wanted. That freedom is gone now that Shedeur Sanders is in charge. The coaches have given Sanders the shortest leash possible, telling him to play it safe, check the ball down, and not make mistakes. When Jerry Jeudy is out there moaning that he isn't getting the ball, he is directing his anger at the wrong guy. Shedeur Sanders isn't the one who makes the calls. He isn't the one who decides to throw checkdowns and safe passes. The coaching staff is sending him instructions through his helmet, and he's following them. Sanders is going to do what they say and throw it to the checkdown receiver instead of Jude running his route downfield. This is because Sanders is a rookie who wants to prove he belongs and is following the coach's orders. This is a classic example of a player being angry about his situation and taking it out on the wrong person. Jeudy should be in the offensive coordinator's office talking about how to call plays. He should be talking to the head coach about how to get more chances into the offense, but instead he's making his anger known in a way that splits the locker room and puts too much stress on a rookie quarterback who is already having a hard time. Several NFL experts and former players have spoken out about what's going on in Cleveland, and they all agree. Shedeur Sanders is being set up to fail. Dan Orlovsky, a former NFL quarterback who has never been afraid to voice his thoughts, said it best when he said he wanted to see Sanders thrive, but wished others would support him. That's the main point of the problem. Sanders has the skills to throw. You can't teach him how to throw the deep ball like that. He demonstrated it in college at Colorado, where he made throws that made NFL scouts drool. He can take a hit and get back up again. But he's being held back by a bad system that doesn't trust him and a coaching staff that seems more worried about keeping their jobs than helping a young quarterback grow. The post-game interview situation that has been in the news is another great illustration of how Sanders is being treated differently. Instead of letting him relax after the game, allowing him some time to think about what happened on the field and talk to the coaches about it, they put him in front of the media right away. When Sanders, who is a bold and self-assured person, talked about how he did using I and me, that made a tale. That was a dilemma all of a sudden. But here's what folks need to know about Shedeur Sanders. This is the person he has always been. If you followed his career at Colorado or listened to any of his interviews, you know that he has a unique mix of confidence, humility, and faith that makes him who he is. He doesn't talk like a conventional quarterback and provide boring, cliched responses. He has a lot of confidence. He has a lot of personality. And yeah, he does talk about himself and how well he does sometimes. That doesn't mean he isn't a team player, though. That doesn't mean he doesn't see and value what his coaches and teammates do. It's clear that there is a double standard when it comes to Sanders. People don't question whether Dillon Gabriel is a team player when he goes out and throws 52 passes in one game and only completes a small fraction of them. No one looks for evidence of selfishness in his post-game interviews. But Shedeur Sanders has a lovely watch, does his distinctive wrist gesture, and all of a sudden he has an attitude problem. It's shocking how hypocritical it is. Randy Moss, a Hall of Fame wide receiver who has been judged for his attitude and playing style, talked about this same subject. He said that Sanders is being held to a higher standard because of who he is, his name, what he did in college, and how he carries himself. Moss basically stated, "Get used to different, because Shedeur Sanders is different." That's not a terrible thing. The NFL needs people with personalities. It needs players who aren't afraid to be who they are. But it seems like in Cleveland, you can only be yourself if you fit into a very restricted concept of what a quarterback should look and sound like. When a reporter asked one of the Browns' special teams players about Sanders, his answer was telling. He said that Sanders is amazing in the huddle, that he inspires his teammates, and that he helps them get through tough times. That's the kind of leadership a quarterback should have. That's the kind of presence that can change a whole team. But none of that counts if the coaches don't offer him the tools and help he needs to accomplish well. Many analysts have said the same thing, and it's hard to argue with their reasoning. If the Browns gave Joe Flacco a fair chance to show what he could do, and if they allowed Dillon Gabriel 52 chances to throw a pass in one game, they should do the same for Sanders. For the rest of the season, the Browns need to make sure they are properly judging Sanders. They need to let the players do more things. They need to let him throw the ball far. Instead of putting him in situations where he can't win, they should let him play conservatively, which makes everyone look horrible. There's no doubt that the skill situation in Cleveland is bad. They don't have a real number one receiver. They don't have a tight end who can change the course of a game. Their running game isn't steady enough to keep the offense going week after week, even if they have a promising rookie running back. It would be hard for any rookie quarterback to lead this club. Asking them to accomplish that while playing ultra-conservatively and with one hand tied behind their back is almost impossible. But here's what makes this even more annoying. Dillon Gabriel is not the answer. No one with working eyes thinks that Gabriel is the future franchise quarterback in Cleveland. So why are we still talking about this? Why is his fiancé on social media protecting him and taking jabs at Shedeur Sanders without saying anything? Why is there really a question about who should play? The answer is that people in the organization don't want to admit they were wrong because of their egos and pride. Kevin Stefanski and the front office put money into Dillon Gabriel. They had faith in him. They gave him chances. And instead of promptly changing course and moving on when it became clear that it wasn't working, they've dragged their heels. They've put their money on both sides. They've put Gabriel in a weird spot where he's healthy but not playing. Sanders is playing, but he isn't getting a fair chance to show what he can accomplish. And everyone is angry. It's just another sign of a broken scenario that Caswell is getting involved in social media and saying that everyone in the building wants Gabriel to play. It's what occurs when people can't deal with the truth. That's what happens when pride gets in the way of making smart football choices. People start saying things out of rage and frustration when things get this tense, and that's what happened in those comment areas. It's easy to see what the truth is. The Browns may not want to admit it, but Shedeur Sanders is the greatest way for them to see what their future looks like at quarterback. He has more potential than the other one. He was the one who did more in college. He has the right body and mind to be a franchise quarterback in this league. Dillon Gabriel had a chance. In one game, he tried to pass 52 times. The test didn't work. It's time to go on. The Browns need to stick with Shedeur Sanders for the rest of the season. They need to let him throw the ball and open up the playbook. They need to come up with ways for guys like Jerry Jeudy to get more chances. So everyone quits blaming each other. They need to give Sanders a chance to do well and then judge him fairly based on how he uses those chances. That's terrific if he succeeds. You may have found your franchise quarterback. If he has trouble, you'll at least know and be able to make a smart choice regarding the position going ahead. They can't keep on with this half-measure strategy where Sanders plays but can't accomplish anything, so it's hard to really judge him. They can't let this Dillon Gabriel scenario hover over everything like a gloomy cloud. They should also not let drama on social media between players' significant others become part of the story around this team. For decades, the Cleveland Browns have been mired in quarterback hell. They've gone through more quarterbacks than most teams do in their whole history. They've done everything wrong when it comes to the most vital position in sports, from making bad selections to reaching on draft picks to signing subpar free agents. This is their chance to get it right, or at least to find out whether they have a possible answer on their roster. Shedeur Sanders should have a real chance, not a shot where he's handcuffed, limited, and set up to run games instead of win them. A true chance for him to show off the leadership, toughness, decision-making, and armed talent that made him a great college quarterback. The Browns owe him that much. The fans should see it. And to be honest, after all the drama and problems, the organization owes it to itself to have a clear answer one way or the other. It's time for Dillon Gabriel and his fiancé, Caswell, to read the room. The social media defense isn't doing anyone any good. The hidden digs at Shedeur Sanders don't make Gabriel seem better. If anything, it's making the whole thing look even more petty and broken than it really is. Things don't always go well in football. This doesn't mean that Gabriel is a bad person or that he can't work in this league. But it's not a good idea to try to stir up drama and controversy on social media when your man is fit and sitting on the bench. This whole thing is a small example of everything that's wrong with the Cleveland Browns. The problems, the bad choices, and the incapacity to choose a path and stay to it. The turmoil on social media is just the icing on the cake of a really bad Sunday. But underlying all that turmoil is Shedeur Sanders, a promising young quarterback who deserves more. He needs coaches who have faith in him. He needs an offensive strategy that works with what he does best. He needs teammates who will help him instead of whining about not receiving enough targets. He also deserves fans who judge him based on what he performs on the field, not what he says in interviews or what watch he wears. In the next 2 weeks, we'll learn a lot about Cleveland. Are the Browns really going to make sure they properly evaluate Shedeur Sanders? Will they let him play in a more open offense? Will Jerry Jeudy and the other wide receivers come on board and help their quarterback? Will the Dillon Gabriel case finally be over? And will individuals like Caswell see that fighting on social media isn't benefiting anyone? And maybe, just maybe, it's time to take a step back and let the football play out where it belongs, on the field. One thing is for sure, the drama in Cleveland isn't over yet. This series appears to draw in trouble, as a magnet draws in metal. But in all that upheaval, there is a young quarterback who is striving to show that he is more than just his famous last name, and that he has what it takes to be successful at the top level of football. Shedeur Sanders should get the chance. The Browns have to give it to him. There shouldn't be any more side noise, social media drama, or subliminal shots. They should all fade into the background where they belong. Please leave your opinions in the comments below. Do you think Shedeur Sanders has a good chance in Cleveland? Should Dillon Gabriel's fiancé have remained out of this on social media? Is Jerry Jeudy angry at the wrong person? Please tell me what you think about this whole messy thing. If you like this deep dive into the craziness that is the Cleveland Browns, please hit the like button, subscribe so you never miss an update on the newest NFL drama, and set on alerts so you always know when we post new stuff. Even though the NFL offseason is still a few months away, the drama never ends, and we'll be here to cover every crazy turn and twist. Keep connected, keep educated, and remember that in the NFL, the drama off the field may be just as interesting as what happens on the field.